I figured I would just touch a little bit on Holy Priests for Phase 4, Wrath of the Lich King, ICC. I've honestly never made a YouTube video before. I don't even know if this will upload right, or if the audio is even going to be good. I'm not going to edit anything. This is just straight off the rip. Hopefully I spend under 20 minutes talking about a lot of this shit, and if it gets 1 view, great. If it gets 100 views, great. If it gets 0 views, well, whatever. At least I tried. So let's just start. Holy Priest in ICC. Let's see. Holy Priest really hasn't been a thing since TBC. TBC, Holy Priest spam Circle of Healing. It was really cringe. Blizzard changed that for Wrath of the Lich King. But unfortunately, Disc Priests just rule the healing world. And they're broken. They get nerfed in Cataclysm because of this, and it's fine. I play Disc Priest. I play every spec. There's just really no room right now for a Holy Priest, or there hasn't been any room for a Holy Priest. A little bit in Old War, but it's unfortunate because their whole toolkit and playstyle is very fun. It's kind of a hard skill cap healer compared to shield spam, rejuve spam, holy light spam, chain heal spam. There's a lot of ways that Holy Priest can heal really well, or there's a lot of ways that Holy Priest can just try but not really be good at what they're doing and just not live up to what their toolkit can actually obtain. So ICC, first about myself, I've played a Holy Priest and Disc Priest and Shadow Priest since 2008. Wrath of the Lich King, I healed as kind of like Disc Holy in Old War and ICC. Discipline was a lot different back then. We didn't shield spam really until probably mid ICC. We were actually tank healers with Holy Paladins. It was Recount back then, they had healing done and they had absorbs done, and then when they added healing and absorbs together, people figured out that Disc Priest spamming shield was just destroying the meters and in the most efficient way for them to heal. So that's how they kind of got into that place. Unfortunately, now we know all that, so Disc Priests are just reigning supreme right now, and they will in ICC. Especially as they get gear and the raid, people progress through the raid and learn the fights, and as the Disc Priest learns the fights. But heroic ICC 25 man is a monster of a raid. It demands high HPS. There's a lot of fights that can be 4 or 5 healed, and then there's fights that you need up to 6, 7 healers. For the most part, people progging, guilds going into ICC, they're going to be taking their 4 healers from TOC, right? Disc Priest, HPAL, Resto Shaman. And then they're going to be looking for a 5th healer. Maybe it's a Resto Druid, that ended up playing Boomy halfway through TOC because it's a joke. Or they're just going to be looking for healers. I've noticed the guild recruitment right now. A lot of people are looking for healers, just because we're going from sleepwalking healing 3, 4 healers to 5 up to 7. So if you are playing Holy Priest full time in ICC, if you are playing Holy Flex Shadow, which I'm going to be kind of playing, but right now I'm the 5th healer, and I just am anticipating for the next at least month of 25 hard mode prog, I'm going to be healing. So if you have 2 Shadow Priests and one's going to be going Holy, or like I said, if you're going to be playing Holy full time, you'll be able to get some information out of here. If not, whatever. I think there's some interesting things that people can learn from this guide in regards to the Holy Priest. Holy Priest is kind of a goofy spec when it comes to ICC. There's not a lot of information on it. There's a lot of videos of people in Warmain, right, the private server, which I have not done. Healing is holy. I've scoured the forums for Warmain. There's a few kind of guides on Holy Priest. Some of them kind of contradict each other. People that, made one guide go into the other guy's guide forum and, tell me he's wrong. It's just, there's just kind of a lot of stuff all over the place, but so there's really not much to find. The Wowhead guide for Holy Priest for Phase 4 is pretty correct. It's just, there's a lot of things on there that are just kind of like, well, you can play how you want. You can gear how you want. You can gem how you want, but here's like the suggestion, which is fine. There's a lot of ways that Holy Priest can be played, but honestly, there's probably going to be one main way to play Holy Priest in ICC. And it's going to be the raid healing spec, which I'll go over in a minute. So, stats, you go on to like some guys and they just say gem all haste, right? Haste, haste, haste. Well, that's great like right now if you're healing holy in TOC, which I hope you're not. But going into 25-man hard mode, and I did every single night of the PTR. Granted, we did normal modes, but even normal modes, some of them are pretty feisty. I'm personally, and I've seen other Holy Priest gem like this, I'm going to be going for stats. So you're going for stats. You're going for socket bonuses. And the really good thing about this is if you flex Shadow Priest and Holy Priest gem very, very similar. Outside of the meta gem, if you're going to be using the same meta, if you're going to be using the same helmet, then you're obviously going to want to carry meta gems if you're flip-flopping. But you gem for socket bonuses, just like a Shadow Priest. So I'm going to be going like this. I'm just going to be going Reckless, Purified, and Spell Power. Well, I don't think I have any Spell Power. Yeah, one there. I'm going for stats. I could go Haste, more Haste. I do have the 3 Dragonized gems that I'm going to be sticking with the Haste. If I do swap Shadow, these 3 gems are a DPS loss as compared to the 3 Spell Power gems. But like I said, I'm anticipating not really going Shadow for any fight, being the 5th healer for a long time. I'm back and forth on what my off spec will be. There is a Holy Priest spec that I will go over that could be beneficial, but it's only on like 1 or 2 fights, and I just don't see it being worth. But the thing is, so you want to go stat, you want sustain, you want spirit, you want mana, you want intellect. This is enough haste, right? So I have a spec. This is the 4-piece. The 4-piece is fine. It's not great. If you're like a Shadow Priest right now that is going to be going holy for ICC, I'm assuming, or you're going to be back and forth, I'm assuming you've picked up the 4-piece healing set. I would hope you have. After all these weeks, emblems, trophies, it's a no-brainer. Pick up the 4 set. Empowered or new, is going to be strong. It's just a good increase to it. On raid heavy damage fights, it's an initial heal that's 10% more. It's not great, but it's fine. The 2-piece is massive. And I kind of have some hot takes on it. I think that this 2-piece will actually supersede tier 10 4-piece bonus. Permitting was one of your strongest heals. I'll go over that in a minute, but you're gonna want to go like Spirit Haste, right? Spirit Haste. Now, some of these items you may have being from your Shadow Priest set, right? Like this, like these. Just, if you're building a set, just do the best you can with Spirit and Haste. Trinkets, you need to get a Solace. You need to get a Solace, and I don't care if you have to get the normal one. Solace is a trinket that priests, healers will equip and just leave for the rest of the expansion. Okay, if you don't have one, if you have a Show of Faith, but if you don't have Show of Faith and you guys aren't going to do Yogg anymore, you can buy Meteor Crystal. This is the best regen trinket for priests. I will be using this trinket for prog. If you don't have a Meteor Crystal and you don't want to go farm a bunch of beta dungeons or whatever the hell it is, dig around, see if you have this. Dig around, see if you have this. I mean, it's a 225 trinket from fucking Hologarn, but it's good. I mean, it's good. It's way better, way more sustaining than this, right? You're going to be casting nonstop. It's Spirit. If you have it and you're playing Holy Priest, this is a good trinket. Okay, let's go. So this is the PTR. So Frost Emblems, you're going to start to get, people are going to be doing world tours and all that stuff. If you don't have Show of Faith, if you don't have Meteorite Crystal, this is a good trinket. Okay, this is actually better than Show of Faith. I might actually buy this trinket. I don't know. I think between Show of Faith and Meteorite, I'll be fine because I want to go for... This is a good belt to buy. I don't have this belt yet. If you have this belt as a Holy Priest, don't buy this belt. But if your belt sucks, buy this belt. It's good. It's a lot of haste. It's a lot of spell power. It's got 2 sockets. Anytime a healer can buy like contested items, right? Or contested stat items in with badges, you need to do it because I mean ICC has they're not gonna give shit to like a Holy Priest, right? And that's fine. They shouldn't. Healing gear. I don't want to get into all that debate about healing gear and all that. I mean, I think like if this drops, you're not going to get as a Holy Priest. Not yet. Maybe in like 4 weeks, right? Depending on how many drop. It's like this ring, right? I mean, this is Holy Priest Biz, right? Technically, but you're not going to get it. So anytime you can pick up pieces that are good enough like this, you just do it. I mean, this is probably a good first buy. These robes are okay, but there's a lot of good gear from 10-man heroic and 25-man normal. Now this is new. So this person sells a lot of normal stuff. If you don't have, you can buy the normal version of this, right? And it's fine. It just depends on what your belt is, right? The normal version of these. Suffering's End. And then it sells the 252. Right, there you go. You can buy Show of Faith. So I don't want to talk a lot about gear. Let's talk about spec. So this is not my priest. This is a Holy Priest that I just made. If you're like a new Holy Priest or a Holy Priest that wants to fine-tune your gear, this is just very simple. It's the 4-piece. It's it's kind of greedy. I mean, there's a lot of good pieces here from TOGC, but like I said, I don't want to talk too much about gear. Okay, let's talk about talents. So I have spent a lot of time, probably too much time, staring at this screen right here as a Holy Priest. There's a lot of different ways you can spec. Honestly, for ICC, I think you're just going to be sending a raid healing spec, and then you're just going to leave it. So this is your bread and butter. This is what you take here. No questions asked, and that's it, okay? And then this is what you take here. Again, no questions asked. You just keep going down. What'd I miss? Oh, nothing. Okay, you go here, and now you're done. This is where the big debates happen, on the forums and the Warmane, what's good, what's not good, blah, blah, blah. this is what I've been doing, and this is what I did on the PTR. Okay. 1 out of 2 here is good enough. You're going to have enough crit through your gear. It's an 8. It lasts for 10 seconds. This uptime is more than enough with 1. My holy concentration uptime was high enough with just the crit I had. And, or sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, this, you use, yeah, the uptime of this is good enough, okay? The uptime of this 1 is going to keep up 3 of this. Okay, then you go here, 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 here. Now, I will say one thing. If you are doing normal modes, if your guild is going to start progging like normal modes, and you have a decent enough disc priest, this will be a waste. Okay, this will be a waste. Just go 0 in here and go 3 in empowered healing, or 3 up here, right? This is just 3% more healing. I noticed in normal modes, our disc priest who is pretty good. The raid was not getting below 50%. There's just not enough damage. Their shields are just too strong, and they're only going to get stronger right as they get gear. But I think for heroic modes, I'm going to start with this. Okay, you don't use this. You're not going to be flash healing. You're not going to be... flash healing is so low on the party list. So let's talk about rotation. Your rotation is your instant cast healing. It's Circle of Healing, it's Prayer of Mending, and it's Renew. That is going to be your bread and butter throughout this entire raid. Circle of Healing on cooldown, Prayer of Mending. Circle of Healing and Prayer of Mending are arguably the strongest healing spells in the game. I mean, they're smart heals, they're efficient, and they just do a fuck ton of healing. And I mean, I'll show you in the logs. They do a lot of healing. And they're very good spells. And this thing just increases the hell out of them, okay? So your bread and butter is kind of Renew blanketing with Circle of Healing and Prayer of Mending. Now, you can use this to stack up these. And what I like about this, I do use this and this with Prayer of Healing. I do. I like it. Prayer of Healing is decent. The problem with Prayer of Healing is if your Resto Shaman's good, you're going to get sniped all the time on Prayer of Healing. And I don't want to get into the whole healing adversarial argument. Like, here's the thing. Wrath is a fast-paced healing raid expansion. This is a fast-paced healing raid. The goal here is to increase everyone's HPS so that the raid can effectively stay alive. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're doing the best you can. The rest of the time wants to make she's doing the best he can, and kind of all working around each other in order to perform the best as a healing core. So if you go to prayer healing group and he goes to chain healer group and he beats you, well, you just wasted that prayer healing. And you're going to, like, Serendipity is good. That's why I like it. You can get out the fast prayer healing into a circle of healing. But Prayer of Healing, I think, just drops down on the priority list for us in ICC just because it's too slow. This is only for the first cast of it. This is a spec that I think you can sit with and live with for the entire raid. It has a lot of good options to it, or a lot of good abilities. Like, you can keep this up always as a backup to have that fast prayer healing. But it does focus a lot on the renew. And I do think for 25 heroics, I think there's going to be times where the raid's going to be dropping, or where parties are going to be dropping, or where tanks are going to be dropping. And the thing with Test of Faith is every single healing spell that hits that player, while they're under that threshold, you're going to heal for 12% more. So if you renew someone, okay, while they're under 12% or under 50%, your empowered renew is gonna heal for 12% more, and then the whole renew tick throughout the entire duration of the renew is healing for 12% more. even while they go over the 50% health. So you're essentially snapshotting renew. Glyphs, you just go circle of healing, guardian spirit, and prayer healing. Yes, prayer healing, even though I just bashed it for the last 3 minutes. There's nothing else. I mean, you're not going to take flash heal. Shit, half your flash heals are going to be free anyways. I mean, what are you going to take? Hymn of Hope? Like, this is the biggest positive game. Where the fuck is it? This is just going to be the biggest positive game. Okay, I mean, there are fights like Sindragosa. I mean, your Glyph of Prayer and Healing will actually do a decent amount of healing. Even though you're not using it, but a lot. It still will. It's even the little amount you use it, it's still just going to be fine. So let's talk about the spec that a lot of the warming people talk about for ICC. And it's just maximizing renew spam. It's basically the same thing here. Okay, but they skip this, they go here, and then they just go 3%. Okay, so it's just 3% more healing to the raid. They go 5 here, so you can go down to here, and then you go here, and then you just finish it. So you drop this, drop that, and just go 3 here. And then just pick up 1 more here, which is just more mitigation for yourself, you know, I don't know. But this is if you are living in a renew spam world, this is the best way to do it. I just prefer to have 1 here to help this. You know, this is kind of whatever. So, healing style, you can learn to work like with your disc crease, right? So if you have your raid frames need to show the disc crease shields. And again, this is gonna sound like competing, but it's not competing. So your frame should show shields, right? In the weakened soul, even if you're the holy priest. You're gonna watch. Okay, how disc crease shields? They just shield the group, right? They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's say you're in a fight and there's raid damage incoming. You just started the fight, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, what's happening with party 5? What's happening in party 4? What's happening in party 3? Well, these people are immediately getting shielded. The disc priest can't shield these people yet. So you can start to renew back, right? Like you can renew back into, you can work with the disc priest shields like in like a yin and yang type thing. Like you can circle healing down here. As the disc priest is shielding down here, you're going to watch these shields break. Well, what can you do? Renew, 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 renew. You see how it works? It's like a back and forth. You're learning from what they're doing and working around for what they're doing, and it's going to, in the end, increase the HPS to the raid. Like, why would you start renewing simultaneously while she's shielding? That's going to be waste. That's a complete waste. Your renews are literally just going to go into the shield. Prayer mending. There's going to be 2 prayer mendings, right? Yours and the disc priest. I don't really... I think it's not even worth getting into. I think what happens is if they both land on a target, it's the second prayer mending that counts. At the end of the day, you know, you can try to tell them to like just prayer mending themselves or other people. I mean, I think that's kind of greedy and selfish. Your prayer mending is like, it's so much stronger than theirs. So ideally you do want yours throughout the raid and on the tanks and through the melee. But you know, I mean, how I play is I just do it anywhere. I perma in the tank. I permitting a mage group, right? The mage group, you know, they're all clothies. I mean, obviously it bounces around through the raid, but I just do it all over, and I do it on cooldown. I do this fucking thing on cooldown. It is so good. It is so strong. Okay, this is normal Blood Queen, right? I mean, it's always my second or third heal. Okay, this is normal Blood Queen. Okay, this is Rot Face, but I mean, this is Rot Face Heroic. I mean, look at the disc priest. Not all fights are like this, but, disgrace are broken. What can I say? So, look. It's my number one heal. I mean, this heal is so fucking strong. But see these heals? This is your bread and butter. Professor Putricide. Okay, I think I healed the A-bomb. I wasn't even sure what was going on. Margar normal. I mean, whatever. Margar is a good Holy Priest fight on Heroic. Look at Prayer Mending. I mean, it's consistently my top. Let's try to find a Sindragosa. This is Sindragosa normal. So Sindragosa is one of those fights that is a Holy Priest dream. Same with Blood Queen. Sindragosa though it's a very frustrating fight. I mean, it's fun. It's a long fucking fight. I mean, this is 6 minutes on normal. I mean, I think on Heroic it's 7 or 8 minutes. I've even seen 9. If you get Unchained Magic, you're just gonna hate yourself. But here's the thing: when you get Unchained Magic in Heroic, when you blow up, you blow up the people around you, or it hits everyone around you. So here's how you play Unchained Magic as a Holy Priest. Let's say you get Unchained Magic. Boom. Your first cast is going to be Prayer of Healing. You're going to stand where you're at, and you're going to cast Prayer of Healing. And then you're going to cast Prayer of Healing again on another group while you're standing still. And then you're going to run out. Okay? And you're going to circle a healing. While you're running, it's instant. You can run and Prayer Mending back into the group. That's 4 spells casted, and then you go fucking AFK. You can maybe do 5 if you want to renew yourself, or shield yourself. You can pay attention, if the Disc Priest has Unchained Magic and you have Unchained Magic, you should probably shield yourself. But that's what I did in the PTR. I went Prayer Healing, ran out, Circle Healing, Prayer Mending. That gave me 4 stacks. That felt comfortable. I don't know, maybe you can go to 6 or 7 stacks. I mean, I didn't want to mess with it, especially during prog. The big thing with Unchained Magic that's going to affect a lot of people's progression is people are going to be running out. They're not going to follow the, what's it called, Blistering Cold. That's the Poland, I think, right? They're going to not follow the Blistering Cold timer and their Unchained timer. And what's going to happen is they're going to get pulled in to the boss when they have 1 second left on the Unchained, and then boom, it's going to blow up everyone in the raid. So there's really no excuse, though, to have this happen because you're literally AFKing, right, and watching timers, but it's just going to happen. I mean, it happened to me. It's going to happen. Pay attention to those timers. If you need to, if Blistering Cold's happening and you have 2, 1, use a cooldown. If you know you're going to get pulled in, use a spell. Just hit a fucking spell so that you refresh the Unchained cooldown before, so that you get pulled into the raid, and then you get to, and then you run out and blows up outside the raid. This is, I'm not going into boss guides here, but that's just shit to pay attention to as a healer. But yeah, Holy Priest, Sindragosa is fun. Spam the fuck out of Renew. Use Prayer Healing during Unchained Magic. Use Guardian Spirit on cooldown, guys. Let the tank call for it, but I mean, the tank's not gonna. If you use it on the tank, or you use it to save anyone's life, right? Glyph, it's such a short cooldown. These fights are gonna be long, guys. Use your fucking cooldowns twice. You can math out before a fight. If you know a Heroic Sindragosa is gonna be 8 minutes, you can use Shadow Fiend twice. You can use Divine Hymn twice. Guys, coordinate with your druids. Get fucking innervate. You need innervate. Healers are going to be getting innervate in ICC. That's all there is to it. The wrestler druid is going to use him on himself. That's fine. That's perfect. There's a feral and there's a boomy, at least. Get their innervates, guys. Get them early. If you get an innervate at 80% health, I mean, if you're at 80% mana and you feel weird asking for innervate, it doesn't fucking matter. Just get it. Get the spell on cooldown. Not you get on cooldown. He needs to get innervate on going on the cooldown, right? So that it's up again, because 2 minutes is going to happen fast in these long fights. So if you get an innervate and you're 80% mana, you're like, well, that's weird. You know, I might go over the mana. You're not going to fucking go over mana. You're going to be always casting. Like, you're going to be casting into the innervate, right? So it's essentially free healing. Get these innervates on cooldown. You know, maybe the Pharaoh saves his for a B-res, but I mean, I wouldn't even save it. Most deaths aren't going to happen 1 or 2 minutes into the fight. So we've been living in a fucking raid environment where the fights have been like 2 minutes, right? We're going into 5, 6, 7 minute fights. I mean, I know this is a 2 minute fight, but you know, heroic modes are going to be longer. You know, Putricide's a long fucking fight. Okay, this is 6 minutes and 30 seconds on normal mode. We're going to be entering territory where we can start to math out Shadow Fiends, Mana Tides. Okay, you guys need to coordinate your mana management. Like, it's not that hard. You go Mana Tide, you go Shadow Fiend, Shadow Priest, Hymn of Hope. They need to do them right next together. Okay, it's going to increase a lot of people's mana. Mana Tide's going to give everyone back more mana just because their mana's increased, right? This is the same thing. The Paladins can do it with Plea. This is why we Shadow Fiend with Hymn of Hope. But just work on your mana. You know, mana felt okay gemming like that. You know, in a world where you're gemming full haste, I think you might run into mana issues early on. The haste gemming argument is the GCD, right? Or no, not the GCD. Yeah, the GCD, but the soft haste cap for Holy Priest, which I think it's like 1267 or something. Okay, that's taking into account spell haste totem and something else, I don't know. But the idea is that if you're living in this world of a Holy Priest raid healer where you're instant casting spells, okay, you're permitting, renew, circle healing. Permitting, renew, circle healing. You want this to be doing that as fast as you can, okay? So the idea is that, like, hitting the soft haste cap or not, if you have a 10-second window and you renew and you're not at the soft haste cap, well, let's say you get 7 renews out in 10 seconds. Well, if you're at the soft haste cap, you're going to get 10 renews out in 10 seconds. So the idea behind that is, like, you're just maximizing the amount of renews you can get out on the raid and instant cast healing that you can do, which probably is a pretty big increase to your throughput as compared to, like, you know, spirit and spell power, right? If you figure out the math somehow. But I'm gonna push myself a little bit on the haste and just kind of keep some of these gems though, and just kind of try to work back as we get more gear, as we progress through the raid, as we learn the fights. Everything gets, like, easier, right? And then you can probably start to loosen up a little and stick some more haste in. But it's all just going to be dependent on how you feel, how your mana is, and, you know, how your DPS is, your guild's DPS is, and all that. So I don't think I have much more to talk about. I think that's just enough to get people going. You know, this guide here on Wowhead is just kind of, it just it lists out all the spells, right? Like, Flash Heal is just, you can Flash Heal, it's cheap. You know, a lot of it's going to be free even if you have 1 point in Surge of Light. It's going to keep Serendipity stacks up. You know, I mean, you're 2.4 prayer healing, right? You can't sit here and spam this, okay? The Arsham is going to beat you. Okay, but with Serendipity, look how fast this thing is. It's 1.5 seconds. So having this into a circle of healing is so much raid healing that it's just, I just think it's beneficial to have 3 in Serendipity. So, with that being said, Holy Priest is fun. It gets better from here in Cataclysm. It's pretty fun. Unfortunately, the last two phases, it really hasn't had a proper place just because Disc Priest is so strong. But Holy's Toolkit is really fun. ICC is a great raid for it. There's going to be fights that are a blast to heal. There's going to be fights where you're probably going to find yourself just going Shadow. Especially as the Disc Priest just learns the fights. You know, I mean, there were fights, even on Heroic, I could see in the near future being 4-healed. Normal mode, we 5-healed it in the PTR, but it was a fight for me to... I just felt like I was doing a lot of overhealing. You know, Death Whisper on normal mode is going to be 4-healed. It's a joke. I'm talking even the 25. I'm talking about the 25 man. But standout Holy Priest fights, you know, Marogar's fun. You know, you can start to pre-renew into the Bone Storm. Okay, get Prayer Mending out. It's going to be hard as fuck to prayer healing during the Bone Storm. You know, I mean, unless you guys are stacked up, which people will start to learn. Get a bop. Okay, you can get a bop during the Bone Storm and Divine Hymn. Okay, because you can't fucking Divine Hymn during Bone Storm. Like, fire is just too unpredictable. And I've had to cancel it so many times. Just get a bop, and then you can just full blast a Divine Hymn. Margar's fun. I'm sure Death Whisper 25 and Heroic will be fun for Holy, just because there's just a fuck ton of damage. It kind of reminds me of like Muru. Gunship is a meme. You know, you can go Shadow. Sour Fang is fun. Oh, let me talk about one more thing. So, you're not going to probably be in this position to be able to have 2 Holy specs, right? You're going to be either Holy Shadow. Yeah, you're probably going to be Holy Shadow. I don't think you're going to be Holy Disc. Where's the... So there's 2 fights in ICC that there is a Holy Priest spec that is better than the spec that I just showed you. It's a single target healing Holy spec. You're not going to probably be in a position to have a Holy, right? You know what I mean, in terms of your off spec. But let's just say you guys are going to be progging Sourfang for a night, right? You guys are, it's 25-man Heroic. You guys are starting to prog Sourfang. You know you're going to be in that fucking boss fight for the next 2+ hours. Okay, I think this spec is better. So you just go down to here. You don't need to take instant cast because right now we're going to focus on full fucking healing. So we're going here, right? Okay. And then you go here. This is all single target bullshit, right? You can go here if you want. Here. Hold on. It's this. It's this. It's this. This. Where are we at now? No, I missed one. Yeah, I don't think you need 2 in there. I don't know. You could probably drop one here and put one here and take that. You definitely want this for Sourfang. It's a massive tank cooldown. I don't know. You could probably drop one of these or something. But you're not. Your gameplay is Binding Heal. Your gameplay is Flash Heal, Greater Heal, right? You want greater heals. You want big, fat, chonky greater heals for Sourfang. You're going to be healing the tanks. You're going to be healing the marks. You can circle healing. Let's see. Prayer healing is pretty good, or prayer mending is really good on Sourfang. This is normal mode. Yeah, I didn't even heal it. The other boss fight is Valithria. Where am I at? This is a Valithria spec. Okay, Valithria is going to... Valithria is really fun as Holy. You're going to do it as Holy. You know, every priest is probably gonna heal there, except for you probably want 1 Shadow Priest in the raid, but... Let's see, this might be the one where I lost my stacks. No, this was a good one. So Valithria is what's going to happen is your holy paladins are going to start to learn how to do the fight. You guys are going to get way good at doing the upstairs, okay, the orbs. There are a couple of kind of cheesy holy paladin specs. Or I think there's only one that I saw. That may or may not get fixed. Well, I guess it won't get fixed. I don't know how it'll work. But your holy paladins are going to get really, really good at this fight. And they're just going to manhandle the thing. But Holy Priest, is in a pretty good spot. Here, I got a hell of a lot of stacks. I think I was at like 35 or 40 stacks, which is ideal, which is what you can get if you don't lose a stack. But you're going to get to a point, I think like even after 10 or 15 stacks, you're not going to go out of mana. Like you don't even lose mana. Like you just fucking, this is normal mode. So Heroic is the same exact thing, except for she probably has more health. And the more stacks you have, it hurts you. You actually get, it's like a dot or something. I don't know. You just take damage. But you have binding heal, right? So you binding heal, greater heal. Binding heal, greater heal. That is your Valithria healing. That's what you're going to do. Keep renew on cooldown on the boss. Don't clip your renew, okay? Because your empowered renew, you just don't clip your renew. It's a fun fight. But yeah, so this is your single target healing spec. It's very niche. Like I said, 1 or 2 fights you're going to use it on. Just feel out how you want to do it. If your guild is cool and you want to spend the gold to respec and then go respec again, like I said, if you guys think you're going to be progging Sourfang for like, half a raid night or a full raid night, you can maybe show up with this spec. I didn't do Sourfang in this spec. I felt like it would have been better just because that fight is just, there is some raid damage, but I mean, you can still renew, you can still prayer healing, circle healing, you can still prayer mending. So that's it, guys. Probably way longer than I thought. Who knows if anyone will even see this thing. If you have any questions or comments or insults, I'm sure they'll be down below. If there's anything I'm wrong about, let me know. I probably am. Who knows? I just know that there really isn't much information on Holy Priest tips and guides, really, excluding that Wowhead page for ICC. And fortunately for Holy Priest enjoyers, there's a spot for you in ICC. Resto druids are very strong as well. It probably comes down to player over class in that situation. I still think Holy Priest, Rejuvenation is a lot stronger than Renew. But Prayer of Mending and Circle of Healing are very strong spells. Divine Hymn as a Holy Priest is very, very strong. Guardian Spirit. So there's a lot of good and bad to both. If you do have a chance to play it, it's fun. Have fun. Yeah. So that's it. Take care.